Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific, where it's the 4th of February 1942 in the Wirraway versus Encircled, Stay-by-Mail campaign. One of our damaged transports takes a torpedo, and that should end her. Expected he might bombard the airfield. Did not move any aircraft in. So it looks like he has a total of 6 flush deck destroyers. Finish that thought. 6 flush deck destroyers operating out of Manila. (162) continues to get some attention off India. B-17's damaged at Clark. He's trying to suppress his airfield at Medan. So no sign of his fighters over Clark or Manila in the last few days. So I'm going to try to break his defense at Tanggu this turn. So every aircraft who I have available and weather permitting is conducting ground strikes at Tanggu. This is reconnaissance by bombing. I know he has troops there in the mountains, just trying to figure out how many. Oh, So he sent B-17s in last turn. So I put up long-range cap, hoping to catch B-17s. Instead, I bagged some Hudsons, it looks like. B-17Es hitting Pescadores. Not sure what the target is there. Is it? Oh, he sent B-17Ds into Saigon, where the Tojos, he knows the Tojos are there. Yeah, the flak and the only decent Japanese interceptors. Uh, so I feel sorry for the Hudson crews and those B-17D crews. Bolos flying out of a level 2 airfield. Marauders flying out of a level 2 airfield. Get Pago Pago. So one of my gambits in the Malacca Straits does not appear to have worked. And definitely not. Yeah, multiple gambits this turn did not work particularly well. Nothing disastrous. Another damaged transport that had heavy fire sinks. Okay, this is the one that I'd like to win because I want to cripple these Chinese divisions, which are the major elements of the Chinese Expeditionary Force under Vinegar Joe Stilwell, typically, and then the Burma Division, First Burma Division, which has already been crippled. Okay, the Chinese divisions are pretty well wrecked. Not so much First Burma Division. Okay, so we didn't get there this turn. This is spoiling attack. Single special naval landing force unit isn't going to win this fight. Just want to see how tough he is. Hmm. Paratroopers seizing dot bases. So all in all, other than the loss of some B-17s and some Hudsons, I didn't uh, really achieve anything on the 4th of February. So it does look like, assuming these units aren't able to escape the hex this turn, it looks like Imperial Guards, see how they're pretty heavily disrupted. They're all heavily disrupted, but we'll go ahead and have them attack again because the benefits of winning here and forcing them to retreat uh, are are too important to give the soldiers a rest. So we talked about this gambit not working. So he has what I assume are some Dornier float planes that he's moved into Medan, and he just railed in some damaged bombers from Tanjoing Balia. What I was hoping to do, if those patrol aircraft were flying, is catch them uh, trying to snoop my carrier task force, which he knows you know, is operating in the Indian Ocean. So I'm not really giving anything key away here. But if you notice, he didn't really detect them, and uh, he knows something is there. But apparently, his patrol aircraft didn't fly because he didn't shoot any of them down. My Fort Blair invasion task force will uh, make a full speed run in this turn, and we're loading up our transports. You can see I've exhausted all my supplies. We're loading up our transports for our phase 2 operations in Singapore. Shoho is on her way, and she will join Zuikaku, Shokaku, Zuho, um, and even our little escort carrier for our phase 2 operations. Going to have to, as I said, reinforce Cebu. Let's check and see if these guys are still pretty disrupted. Um, they'll probably be able to take this base either this turn or next turn. No real issues here. We're advancing on Vegan. No significant damage to his from his bombardment, and we're going to move in as soon as this airbase falls. We'll move in some dive bombers, and we've got light cruisers to deal with those flush deck destroyers. It's not really a worry, but my primary concern is that he decides to just pull those flush deck destroyers out before we can before they're doomed. He may not realize they're doomed yet. We'll see. And I'm going to have to. I am reinforcing the Kopang landings with both artillery and and more troops, so we can wrap up the Kopang, which has been sort of a dog's breakfast operation, frankly. Uh, so has so has this been a bit frustrating. Um, haven't been able to take these bases as quickly as easily. I'm a couple days behind taking them because I don't want him to be able to snoop my transports. So I need to either take the bases or knock out his aircraft, or of course knocking out his float planes is very difficult. Dealing with the medium bombers is much easier just by suppressing the airfield. The one good thing is the Dorners aren't very reliable, and so they may not actually be able to snoop anything on its way out. I'm also going to these deception task forces working their way down here, but again, the deception only works if they're detected, and right now his patrol craft aren't picking anything up, so that deception into the celebs and towards northern Australia may not work uh, because he just isn't snooping them. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and check what actually happened. He lost 10 aircraft, so there's some overclaiming going on of the Hudsons and the B-17Ds. I think you could be pretty confident um, it was probably 4 and 6 total between the Hudsons and Ds. Good, good outcome. Um, and again, he flew those he flew those B-17Ds into an area he knows is defended. So maybe he thought I had moved my interceptors. Um, I haven't. I will, but I haven't. Let's just check. Fatigue levels remain minuscule on this test squadron of Tojos, and you can see the pilots are gaining some skills. 10 kills may not sound impressive for 2 months into the campaign, but those 10 kills are all B-17s. Just check around the rest of the map. We're getting ready to bring in another division. We'll load it up at Busan or Pusan if you prefer. I have to buy out the 11th. No, probably won't use the 11th. I'll probably use the 25th, and I should have enough political points now to buy out that division and some more artillery. And these are the guys that I'm going to bring in. Take about a week to get there, but they'll be my second echelon, and they're going to sit as part, along with some other smaller units. They're going to sit on his defenses at Clark, or at least that's the idea. We'll see how the battle for Manila shapes up. He's probably hiding some P-40Bs, uh, unless he withdrew them. He's probably hiding them somewhere in here because right now Recon's not picking them up, and uh, and then he'll wait until my sweeps stop, and then he'll try to pounce on my undefended bombers. We'll keep watching that. We should be ready to take Norfolk Island this coming turn with paratroopers. We'll wrap up the rest of these dock bases with paratroopers, and it's still going to take a number of turns, but we'll then move on Kavua and eventually Pago Pago. Also, we're just about ready to load up and head towards Horn Island. Engineers are on their way to Gula Island to build up to Gula Island as an airfield where we can not just run patrol aircraft out of, but strike aircraft out of. That's coming along. Nothing exciting happening in the Aleutians. And China, our armor is going to move along the northern path towards Kungchang. Looks like at the moment there's only uh, probably a single core, Chinese core there. This unit, this 29,000 units here, are all the wrecked cores we draw out of Xi'an. And again, his main defense, 2 cores here, and probably another 4 there, along with 3 core here in Wooded Ruff, at least presumably another core here. But we're not going to go straight at this. We'll loop around, take Kunchang, and then Lanchao before turning back to the south. Probably will establish a bridgehead with my follow-on divisions in the meantime, so the armor can just pour over when it's ready. It's probably still weeks away. We are just about now masked for the Wuchao push and uh, taking Changsha, which is actually a minor operation at this point. So that's all there is for today. Look hopefully forward to tomorrow, where I think we can route his 2 main defensive units in Burma, and that gives us a lot more freedom of action. So, not sure why he opted originally to defend forward with both the Chinese Expeditionary Force and the First Burma Division. Leaves nothing for Lashio. Yeah, so if we're going to gamble and continue to attack here, even though our units are very tired, and see if we can win this fight this turn. If we do, a lot of upside. Anyway, look forward to our next chance to talk.